guys, welcome back to Better Space. We're back again with another video, and today we have another gift for us, my second guest, LONDI MADONDO. A status on my WhatsApp, right? And I asked you guys, what did you ask umuntu osindisiwe? Can I just say you guys are very spicy? These spicy guys, I need a chill. Yeah, so Londi is here to defend her honor.
Wow, defend. Okay, fine.
No, yeah, guys, but like I'm just gonna ask her a few questions that you guys asked me, and then obviously we'll see where that leads us, where that takes us. I'll try and ask everyone's question, and she'll also try and answer as much questions as possible. Yeah. So I'm going to
Okay.
Yeah. So try answer from both perspectives. Okay. Disclaimer, guys, her opinions are hers, my opinions are mine. If I do say my opinions on stuff, it doesn't reflect the church that we go to.
Yeah.
It doesn't reflect our families or the people around us. It's just us as individuals, right? And also, I just want to say, please be very respectful if you're gonna comment down in the section on this topic that we are gonna discuss about. Say your honest opinion, but try and be as respectful as possible. Yeah, because in as much as everyone has the right to freedom of expression, we should also respect one another's opinion, right? Okay, let's get right into it. I think the first question, I want to try to remember all the questions. Yeah, I think the first one, why guys, must compromise because the song's always Samazulu, so it's gonna be very hard to stick to English. Okay, but we wanna try to stick to it.
That is true. But I do know of people who take maybe some, a portion of their salary or wages to offer to the church. Most of them, you'd find that they'd say they have had a vision or a conviction, and they would say it was from God to donate to the church that particular portion of their salary. But most of us, including myself, you just take 10% of your salary or your earnings, and then we get that from the book.
Tithing.
Yes. Tithing, and it's just about it. But I have heard, although I'm not going to run away from what you're saying, I've heard of people who take their own whole salaries and take it to church, to give it to the pastor. Apparently, I do not know which verse they can actually back themselves with. I don't think there is one in the Bible, hence I do not believe that is godly. And I don't know why people would take their whole salary to the church when there's street kids out there.
That's why you don't do it.
That's why I don't do it. Okay. Yes, but I do believe in taking 10%. Because
like most people, I think most people do that. Yeah. Okay, and then the other question was, why isn't like from other churches? Like why isn't from everyone else?
In terms of what?
I think in Nkolo and the lifestyle people live. Apparently, you guys are very judgmental.
I see.
The reason why I'm saying apparently is because Londi is my friend, so I know the type of person she is. Okay, but here she's speaking on
yes, I get it. I really do. Napali, to answer that question, I'm actually glad you brought that question up. I've heard a lot of people saying, born again people, where we are judgmental and everything.
So but you guys are perfect. Like
yes, yes. I think Ipanisa, what I've come to realize, I'd like to recall your disclaimer and reinstate it that, guys, whatever I say it's merely my opinion and it doesn't represent my church or anyone, or any surrounding of mine for that matter. So what I've come to realize is that in most churches, other than the born again, by the way, I'm in a perfect position to say most churches because before I was born again, I've been to churches besides the born again one. So I think I'm in the perfect position to draw this conclusion that in most churches that I've been to, churches of people who are not born again, it's usually, although they would preach about stuff and touch on some sin, according to the Bible, sin, they wouldn't really point it out to this is wrong, this is not wanted by God. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like the born agains are more radical about pointing out sin. And I feel like they call a spade a spade. This is not to say other churches do not call a spade a spade. But we try by all means to be biblical and we try by all means to point out sin as it is. And I feel like because of that, people, I don't know if it's because maybe we've come to this world of rejecting the truth.
I think the problem is you are always pointing out sin, but you'll never point out sin kunina. Like you'll always try and make yourselves look as if you are perfect, that you're living these perfect lives, like and everyone else is a sinner.
I think I hear what you're saying. Yes, I must go on this one because I'm thinking when you say and I'm speaking for we act as if see perfect and we don't sin. I take it you are referring maybe to Uti we send us story. Because that is what most people
no,
definitely
no,
people will say
not just that, like
okay,
in general
than others. And
like
honestly,
it's
I
like
do not
you're preaching kindness and you're not exactly kind. You're only kind when there's people around you. Do you get what I mean?
I get it. They are Christians. Who do that. They are actually born again. But I think because salvation is a process, they haven't really they are not yet perfect, which I do not believe that someone is perfect, and I've never come across someone who's perfect. We once talked about this with you. Why Balisa just because Balisa is dating and is a Christian, so to Balisa I only Christian. Can't somebody Balisa perfect him? Okay. But umuntu who's not dating but is a gossiper, that's why Christian. Can't you Christian is umuntu dating? Get what I mean? This spot out. I think it goes back to a thing with Nabo. They are Christians, and if they say they're born again, because we were not there when they got saved. We just have to take their word for it, but we have to understand, Tina, from a biblical perspective, should they're in a process of repenting every day, and apparently not greeting or not being kind while preaching about it is that one sin that they haven't repented from.
Okay,
but
so I need to salvation is a process,
yeah.
I think you should explain why is it that you guys say you're saved or born again? Yeah, because I think when you say you're saved, you're saying you will never sin ever in your life.
Yes.
You're gonna be perfect. Which I think is the reason why people get the feeling you guys are very too judgmental and you think you are perfect.
Yes.
Because most people who take on uctstudents are like
firstly, I'm gonna say now I think I get the question in terms of what. Firstly, I think it's the book of Romans chapter 10 verse 10. You correct me guys if I'm wrong. It talks about believing in your heart, it's ukholwa ngenhliziyo ukuthi Jesu inkosi nomsindisi, and then isivuma ngomlomo bese kuba ukusindiswa. So that is how I know salvation comes about. Ukholwa ngenhliziyo ukuthi Jesu inkosi nomsindisi bese uvuma ngomlomo ukuthi Jesu inkosi nomsindisi. That biblically that is what it means. I quote Romans 10 verse 10 because this is not something especially in engqondweni as much as sithathela lapha ku Romans 10 verse 10.
Okay, then isn't ukubhaphathizwa that's when you get to be born again?
Ukupheleliswa kwenzindiswa ngokwami understand.
Oh,
Yeah, it's completion. Yeah, it's completion of the process because uyakhumbula phela uJesu, although he was king and Lord, but he still had to be baptized by John the Baptist.
Okay.
Yeah, and then many other instances in the Bible that especially in the book of Acts, being baptized. But at some point you must get baptized with water. Coming to a point why is it after sesindisiwe? Well, but you mentioned something about and everything. I think I'll just take you through my journey. I'm not going to be specific about it, but I'm just going to look it up here. It goes with knowing the truth and conviction in your heart. I feel like when you are born again, your conscience becomes much sharper and much sensitive, such that if it's wrong, Palisa doesn't need to tell you, people, Londi, you are wrong. You will know it. You will, and it's because of your conscience. And your conscience only gets sharper and sensitive because you read. You now devote yourself much more in the word. So I think with it's like Palisa, how it came to me in discussing this. I was learning and then I got born again. I got saved. The person in general, I believed in my heart that Jesus was the Lord, and I confessed that with my mouth. And so now what happened is that I devoted myself more into the word. I'm not saying Tandis will come easily to everybody who gets born again, but maybe it was a privilege. So I just devoted myself much into the word. The more I devoted myself to the word, the more my conscience got sensitive, and it isn't things that were habits of mine, things that I had really adopted as my habits. I started to get away from, started to see as wrong. And I think the unfortunate part is that whenever these are habits, we tend to habits whom we perform those habits with, and we're not isolated, and we've got friends. And let me make an example. by the way, I wasn't smoking, but let's just say I was smoking. I'm small. And obviously, and then we were doing this with my friend. After manje ivangeli uLondi sesindisiwe and uLondi is saying manje nembeza wakhe awuyamlahla nje with regard to smoking. What's going to happen to my friend? I'm going to stop smoking because I feel that smoking is wrong, and smoking maybe it goes against the will of God. But what happens then to my friend? Maybe my friend was even put into that habit by me. But now I found this grace. I'm leaving her in a pit, a deep pit. Now I think that is how we've come to be labeled as abasenza. No manje, I believe what I have now is the truth. So I'm obviously not gonna let you like fall deeper into this hole. So and that way the man telling you it's me, smoking is wrong. You'll be like, hey, who died and made a judge when I was them and I was so I think that is how we've come to be called, to be labeled as uctstudents, because sazelwa izinto kade sizenza. And apparently because of this grace, sisters is wanna see we should tell people what we were doing yesterday is now wrong because we have stopped doing it. So people be like, you guys are judgmental. But the truth is we've repented and we are convicted of how wrong these things are that we used to do. Honestly.
Okay. Guys, this is not Hendy sponsored. It's not Hendy sponsored. But I think the other question was why me against our ancestors so much.
Okay.
Like I think Omunye Fits I was like, I'm sure they're gonna ask why is it come with my ancestors and my demonic as well.
Yay! Thank you for that. Thank you for that comment.
Most people were like, why me against my ancestors? Why is it that you've neglected culture, you've disowned it and abandoned it, and yeah.
Okay. I think if you have a question on Twitter, why is neglect? Why is
let's start with the first one. Why are you against?
Okay. My personal understanding of my ancestors. Firstly,
wait, are you against ancestors? Yes or no? First, I think we should.
I think I'll answer that question, but let's first establish what is an ancestor according to my understanding.
Okay.
Because it's totally my understanding of what an ancestor is that an ancestor is your family member that is deceased. Okay. So I believe if and according to my definition, which I've just explained, everybody then is ought to have an ancestor, because otherwise, who brought you into this world? Who brought them? That brought you? Who brought them? And then eventually you find that
lineage.
If an ancestor is what I describe it to be, a family member of yours that is deceased, it doesn't matter how they were, what they were, who they were. As long as they were a family member and they are deceased, meaning you came from them, you carry some of their genetics with you, but they are deceased. Now that is an ancestor according to me, and everybody is ought to have an ancestor, because, like I said, otherwise, how did you come about? How did you originate? Like, who do you come from? Were you obviously did not descend from heaven? That's a showcase. Anyways, so according to that definition, I would like to also say that because of my background and how I was brought up and everything, I got to know amadlozi.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes. I really don't know how to say that in English.
Well, I want to shut left in Johnny a bit.
Okay. So, before I got born again at the age of 13, like I said, I come from a family that is quite traditional. They observe, I would say, cultural habits. They rituals. We are Zulus, Tina. We've got we've got rituals to observe for the dead.
Yes.
And we say we are doing that for amadlozi. And amadlozi, in our minds, it's the dead, the ancestors. And that is where I'm coming to before I answer Palisa's question, by the way, I haven't forgotten. So, growing up in that setting, I used to see people will say, my family, they would slaughter stuff, burn incense to connect and talk with the amadlozi, who are believed to be our, deceased family members, ancestors, that is, and they would make, ceremonies, rituals for them, to appease them at times. Someone would come and tell us that so and so who died, maybe it's our aunt or the great grandfather is not happy because he's feeling excluded, blah blah blah, and the family thinks that you guys are no longer including him. So we have to make a ceremony now to appease him. It's the kind of things that we are familiar with as blacks, especially particularly Zulus. And then we'd make those ceremonies. But if, let's say, my family is ignorant, they are not doing that ceremony because maybe they're just ignorant, or maybe they do not have money, things would happen. Car accidents would be evident. I'm telling you, break-ins would be evident. People getting sick, especially the elder of the family. Like at that time, it used to be my granny. She would be sick. And I think it's
real. It's real.
It's real.
It's not so good to like.
It's real. And there's this experience that I I had, but I'm not gonna share because it's quite personal. But my granny was like really, like she got sick like randomly. And because my family, like I said, it's a traditional family, they went to a sangoma, you know, had a healer, a seer, and then the seer was like, because of 1 and 2 and 3 that you guys were told to do and never did, therefore that their consequence is a result of.
So even if you didn't believe Uguti Ayiko and Damadus, at that moment you're like, definitely.
I'm not like, this is not, guys, I'm unlike those people who are privileged to be born in the born again Christian family. I'm guys, it exists. And I think that's a very important thing to know as people would, before you say it doesn't exist. Research. Because for me, like I said, it's no longer for people who are born into like sage families. For them, it's a matter of believing whether it is a corner or not. For me, it's a matter of knowing which corner. But I've seen it. I've seen it in action. I don't know about other families, but my family, we've always known there's God. In fact, there is God, and then there's amadlozi, and then there is us. They've never denied it's either or ilos. No, they've always known there's God, and then there's amadlozi, and then there's us as humans on earth. Having seen ilos at work, I've just outlined some functions of ilos. If they said 1 and 2 must happen and you don't do it, trust me, they'll be consequences, and the consequences are not gonna be nice. You know. Some other time I experienced, but this was not at home, this was just somewhere, my neighbor. They said she must go and initiate and then train and initiate for being a sangoma. And they refused, they're like, not me. You know, those glamorous people are like, no, not me. Me, the bangle, the cow skin, you know? And they're like, okay, we'll show you. I think I heard that at some point she was trying to get out of the car. She couldn't have it. Oh no, out of bed. She couldn't. She tried to. Apparently, she was just a stage show, and the feet weren't working at all. And they took her to a sangoma, and the sangoma was like, because of 1, 2, and 3 that you were saying you were told to do, but you ran away from. This from here onwards until you accept the calling. 1 and 2 will be happening. 2, you know, she got into that. Assets were seized. But it was a lot. I'm coming to say that. Having seen that the idlozi exists and idlozi is responsible of such, I've come then to say idlozi is a spirit. Idlozi does exist, but it is a spirit. And because of the functions of idlozi that I've seen in my life, and then those and in the lives of the people around me, I've come then to say idlozi is a spirit that I cannot really pin down. What spirit it is exactly? I cannot really give it a name.
So you're not saying it's ancestors, so you're differentiating it from ancestors.
Yes.
But abantu bathi animals bangenwa ugogo wabo, the thing ugogo wabo khulumayo.
Okay. Yes.
So then why uthi wena?
Yes, and understanding things. I'm actually getting into that. I do acknowledge the existence of idlozi. I'd be stupid if not to do that because I've seen it most. So it's not even a matter of believing it. I know it's in so and idlozi, according to me, it's a spirit that certainly doesn't work with God because of the functions in general is why they literally force you to bend to their will, and it's not going to be nice. The consequences are not going to be nice if you do not accept their calling. And because of the actions I've seen, the consequences are according to me, the spirit that doesn't work with God. The reason I say it's not my ancestors.
So wait, have you only seen bad things
happening? Okay, I've
never seen like is it right?
Okay, I've seen stuff let's say you've been looking for work and you'd go to Imsamo, I don't know what they call that in English, but Imsamo in Zulu culture, it's a very sacred place that it's not just anybody who goes there, it's usually the elders. They would go there and burn incense and speak for that person who needs work, and ask the ancestors and everything. And then miraculously, maybe a week or 2 weeks later, a person is called for an interview and then they get work. I've seen that too. And they've said idlozi. And I mean, umuntu kade ecela week ago and then umsebenzi uyafika, it makes sense ukuthi ngaba idlozi, meaning I've seen imisebenzi emihle nemisebenzi emibi yedlozi. Okay. But I still maintain that idlozi, it's a spirit that doesn't work with God, and it's certainly not abantu. You know why I say that? I told you what I got born again, and I devoted myself into the word, meaning I started believing izwi laNkulunkulu, and as the highest authority, and regardless of my upbringing and my experiences that I've seen, izwi laNkulunkulu, when it says something is, therefore it is. Regardless of what I've seen, I just need to take care and try to figure out my experience if it contradicts the word, but the word is just the final authority. That's what I believe. So according to this word again, this Bible, I'm in the book of Ecclesiastes 9. If you read that whole chapter, it talks about the dead being dead, all of their senses not working. The moment their soul leaves the flesh, their senses are dead. They can neither smell, nor see, nor touch, nor taste. So I then ask myself, and if I believe if uno went to something, do it. There is on the other side. There's literally no way. Like you once you're dead, you are dead. So I then ask myself, for the longest time in my life, I hope that in years we've been appeasing the ancestors, believing that our ancestors can hear us, they can see us, and therefore give us protection. We've even asked them for protection in the instance. And now you're telling me that the dead are dead. Then what spirit is it? Who is it then that is giving us luck? Yes, of all of these things. Because now, I'm not going to. I've seen these things. I'm not like someone who didn't. I saw these things. I saw them giving us protection. I saw them inflicting harm on us because we refused to listen to them. Get what I mean? So what is this? And then I came to an understanding that my ancestors, the deceased are deceased and they are dead, and their senses are no longer working. But I cannot, however, deny the existence of the spirit, which, like I said, I haven't really pinned down what it is, but I have gathered that according to me it doesn't work with God because of what it is responsible for. Yes, I'm aware of the luck that it can bring to people and the fortune, but no. That is like, to me, that's like 20. The good or the luck is 20, but the bad luck, of not
that
obeying, that I've seen, yes, is like 80. So because of that, I really, yes, I'm not gonna